Hey, what's up? I'm X. I like RuneScape minigames, and I'm sure that most of you either did or do too. From the OG days of doing Castle Wars or Stealing Creation or even Fists of Gothics, to the current days of Soul Wars, Last Man Standing, and for the 6 people who play it, the Games Room. But we don't play minigames anymore, because they're inefficient to accomplishing our goals. Even if you felt inspired to go and play a minigame, there wouldn't be a team for you to do it with. Minigames are a blast, and if you saw how the continued lifespan of Soul Wars went, if you were Jagex, you wouldn't want to spend any time making another minigame either. But so many players will post on Reddit or Facebook or Instagram that they miss playing Stealing Creation like they did back in the day. They miss playing Fists of Gothics like back in the day. But we know that if they were going to be re-released today, that people wouldn't play unless the Rune Berserker Shield was the new best-in-slot item. That is why I propose an old-school RuneScape party game type minigame. Something like Mario Party or Fall Guys in the way of game selection, with a good mixture of already existing RuneScape minigame entities and some fun new ones. Here's how I see this working. And I'm also on my hands and knees and overly pronounced moose knuckle, so please subscribe. Let's say you and 19 other people will queue up in a party game lobby. When the game starts, you will see a big text overlay like this, and it will let you know what game you'll be playing. Now I think this can go a couple ways. You can accumulate points per round based on performance, or it can be an elimination style game, sort of like Fall Guys. I think point accumulation would be the best for players who may have weak areas of play, but who still want to hold a chance of winning. Now the diversification of these minigames is what I'm actually the most excited about, as it has the most potential. I think there's obvious potential for there to be minigames from RuneScape that already exist, such as Castle Wars, Last Man Standing, and even the Games Room. But this also allows us to add minigames to a controlled environment without the fear of them being botted or ruined in some other way. Take Fist of Gothics for example. The gameplay, for those who don't know, is it's a hunter versus hunted game where the hunter tries to kill the other player as fast as possible, and the other player tries to stay alive as long as possible. You could also go into the hot spot in the middle of the room and get bonus points, but it would be a lot more dangerous. Now if you've played the same RuneScape that I've been playing recently, you know that minigames like Last Man Standing are overwhelmed with bots who will go to hide and gain passive money, making Fist of Gothics its own minigame would invite this exact kind of thing, but making it a random chance activity would wildly reduce the chance that bots will be as rampant. And yes, bots are going to be a part regardless, but if we had a localized minigame, the reports would be a lot more refined. I think that we also have a great opportunity for this game to include activities rather than formal minigames. Things like prop hunt, NPC guessing like from the Recipe for Disaster quest, an immunity Falador balloon drop party, King of the Hill, name the silhouetted RuneScape item, GeoGuessr, who can stay alive in the 6 Jad challenge the longest, or realistically any of the silly one-off games that they all do in Gielinor Games. I think that these games could safely take about 15 minutes, and that could be either 5 games of 3 minutes, or 3 games of 5 minutes, or something in between. Now what minigame is complete without a reward? I mean, that's why we do anything anymore. And this is all hypothetical, so I'm going to be ambiguous to keep things realistic. I'd encourage you to think of rewards that you would like to see out of this kind of thing. I think we have a couple avenues we can pursue here. We can allow the accumulation of points for their respective games, meaning if you played Last Man Standing in one of the rounds, you would receive those LMS points. We could have it so that you gained a separate kind of points independent from any game and have a reward shop for it. I think it would be best to have the rewards from that shop be untradeable, with some practicality or upkeep related to it. If there's going to be a way to make money out of it, maybe it could be something that required some effort to get your money out of. Something like a blood essence. You can tell I'm really trying to avoid this game being botted. In way of upkeep untradables, maybe this game could be the home to the new almost best-in-slot alternative to an ammo, rune, or food. Maybe we can stick the Fire Surge and Imbusax into this minigame considering the state of the PvP arena. We can introduce the Berserker Shields, or maybe a Zeal-like experience system. Brawling gloves if we were feeling particularly crazy. What? Brawling gloves? I was on board until you said that this is not RuneScape 3. Stop trying to ruin what makes RuneScape, what makes old school. I think it's about time that they released old school RuneScape. I have talked about this pretty publicly on Twitter, and I have a lot of support, by the way. I have also gotten retweeted by the CEO of Bad Dragon, who offered me a massive discount on their new model. I thought it was too good of an offer. While everything is obviously up for crazy wild changes, I hope you started to see the kind of idea I was going for. I know that it has been an incredibly long time since any of us really just did anything for the fun of it. But there's no reason that we can't hardwire our brains back into it with little updates like this. And somehow more fun than this minigame would be subscribing to my YouTube channel. Until the next time, I will see you. Goodbye.